It's Open Line Friday. Rush Limbaugh. And back to the phones, more Los Angeles. Rob, great to have you with us, sir. Hello.
Hello. It's good. Great to speak with you, Mr. Limbaugh. I've been a fan for a very, very long time.
I appreciate your calling, sir. Thank you.
I'll tell you, I've been listening to the show today. I'm listening to the news, and with this, I could go in any direction. My head's going to explode. But this thing with Trump and this abortion comment, I absolutely agree with you that it was a trap, but it really does show how out of control, and maybe even more so than I thought.
Let me jump in here. I want to make one thing clear about this that I probably haven't. I want one more stab at this. This whole interview that Chris Matthews did with Trump, yes, he's asking Trump questions, and yes, he's trying to trip Trump up on abortion. My point about that is that whole interview was essentially an attack on the Republican Party, not just Trump. It set up a campaign narrative for the Democrats to use against the entire party, not just Trump. It doesn't matter Trump's a nominee or not. They're still going to be able to use this, or they're going to try. That what Matthews did was establish another vein of the war on women meme, and to try to keep that alive. And it wasn't just aimed at Trump. It was designed, once again, to caricature or characterize the entire Republican Party. And that's why I reacted to it the way I did. Not because I'm worried about what it did to Trump. I'm concerned the Republican Party doesn't have an answer for this. The Republican Party themselves doesn't know what to do with this war on women business. And it's about time they came up with something, because it's ridiculous. Women out there asking to be exempted from taxes for tampons, and this is going to happen. This is what, folks, this kind of feminism is eventually going to get what it wants. You laugh about it. Oh, my God, look at these women in Ohio. They don't want to pay $4 a year. The same thing happened with contraceptives. But Rush, I thought you were opposed to tax. I am opposed to taxes. That's not what this is about. They're dividing us. These women are saying we shouldn't pay this tax because men don't have to pay an equivalent tax. They're doing everything they can to drive wedges between us, between men and women, between liberals, conservatives, between races. I can't wait to get this demographic survey that the Pew people are going to do the next hour. This whole thing that Matthews did was actually aimed and designed to impugn the entire party. And that's why when I see people jumping all over Trump for this, they better be very careful. Because if they don't understand what the purpose of that was, they're going to end up being ensnared in it themselves. You made me want to make that point. I apologize for interrupting you, but go ahead and finish your point now.
Oh, well, the point I was trying to make was just basically I think you were the one who broke it down. I think it was yesterday, just saying if you're posed with a hypothetical question to say if blank is made illegal and someone commits blank, should they be punished? And you say, well, yeah, I guess so. They should be punished if it was something illegal. I'm still kind of scratching my head, wondering, okay, what's the problem with that? I realize the way that they're spinning it, but I really do feel like if people just took a break and just took a step back and actually listened to the tape.
Because let me tell you what's wrong with it. You're helping me make my point. What's wrong with it is that abortion isn't going to become illegal in this campaign or the next. And the Republican Party does not have a policy that's designed to punish women and put them in jail for it. And that, nevertheless, is what Chris Matthews and the Democrat Party and the media are trying to create with that whole line of hypothetical questions. You can give your answer. A lot of people said, Rush, what are you defending Trump for? If you really are pro-life, and if the hypothetical is presented to you, if you're pro-life, you think it's wrong, then somebody ought to be punished for it if it's a crime, right? So you ought to have an answer for it. The whole thing's set up because there's nobody out there actively campaigning to make it a crime. The pro-life movement is about changing minds and hearts. It's not about putting people in jail. Nobody. I don't know anybody talking about putting people in jail. And asking this line of question is not designed to find out what Trump thinks about this. It's not what Matthews was trying to do. He's doing the same thing that Stephanopoulos is trying to do, and that is tar and feather the entire Republican Party as a bunch of people who want to put women in jail, who want to create dual societies where women are subordinate and barefoot pregnant kids, whatever it is, this bias and prejudice they think we have or that they're trying to create, they're trying to continue it and grow it and expand it. That's why they asked it as a hypothetical. Can anybody tell me, do you know of anybody, maybe I'm wrong, is there anybody in the pro-life movement who wants to put women in jail right now today as part of reversing Roe versus Wade?
I've never heard that. That was such a completely out of left field question. I wish Trump would have been better prepared to answer that. But like you said, it hasn't been an issue in this campaign. And why? It's like saying you should have a plan for the hypothetical zombie apocalypse, just in case, because you're going to be president. So you should know this stuff. I don't think you can expect everybody to have an answer for any kind of a hypothetical. Except something not even on the table.
Wait a second. No. See, this one is fundamental. If the Republican Party does not, by Republican Party I mean everybody, conservatives, moderates, liberates, middle block, libertarians, whatever. This whole issue that has become known as the war on women, there's still people on our side laughing at it. Think it's just so ridiculous. Nobody's going to fall for this. And I hate to tell you, but the people on the left have been so ill-educated and so infused with fear, they do believe it. That's why the question in the hypothetical was asked. And it was an attempt to characterize and impugn the entire Republican Party conservative movement. And everybody smugly out there, smugly saying, what a fool Trump made of himself. Well, he didn't have an answer for it. Well, neither does the Republican Party. You can sit there and laugh and get smug that Trump embarrassed himself and hurt himself. But if you don't understand that they don't have anything but this and the race card to play. Their policies are abject failures. And we don't have anybody out there talking about that either. The Democrat Party, the leftist movement, is an absolute disaster. Their policies have led to the messes that we are in. The only cards they've got to play are abortion and race. And every time they play them, after all these years, there still isn't an effective answer to nuke it and do away with it. And they tried it again this week. Despite everything, meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day. That's right. Still pulling that off despite everything. Rush Limbaugh here, the EIB Network. Great to have you with us as we head on.
Live from the Southern Command in sunny South Florida, it's Open Line Friday.
Open Line Friday. One big, exciting broadcast hour remains at 800-282-2882. Delight to have you here. I'm just telling you, folks, two things. You're going to run for President of the United States. You're going to seek the Republican Party presidential nomination. You had damn better study up on the way they go after you on abortion. You had better study up and figure out what you think about it, and you better be able to rattle it off, and you better be able to spot a phony premise right off the bat and refuse to answer it and totally change the subject or the direction of the question, because I'm here to tell you, the question that Chris Matthews asked Trump was not aimed at getting an answer. The question was meant to shape. It was meant to accuse. It was meant to characterize. When you listen to these interviews, particularly things like Matthews, MSNBC, CNN, forget that there is a question mark at the end. There's no doubt in my mind, Trump looked at Matthews as a guy he can deal with. Somebody you got to do a deal with. He doesn't look at Matthews as somebody trying to destroy him. I don't know, maybe Trump thinks he can't be destroyed anyway. But it's clear, if you're going to make up your mind to go on MSNBC running for the Republican presidential nomination, you have got to be prepared for what it's really about. It is aimed at destroying you. It is aimed at ruining your candidacy. It is designed to make you look like a fool. That's what they think we are anyway. It is designed to help Hillary Clinton. It is not designed to find out what Donald Trump or anybody else really thinks about abortion, because they think they already know what you think about abortion, and I think about it, and everybody else. Journalists, I've gotten blue in the face explaining it. Took me a couple of years to learn it. Whenever you do an interview, they're not really interested in what you think. And if you think you can change a journalist's mind, don't do the interview, because that's not the agenda. The journalist is there. When you're a conservative and the journalist is a liberal, the journalist is there to embarrass you, to expose you, to destroy you, whatever, however they can do it. There's no real desire to find out what you think about something. And if you're not, you've got to be prepared for that. Anybody running for the presidency on the Republican side has to be prepared for this. It's amazing how few really are, even after all this time. And the same thing goes for anything about race. There are ways to deal with it that our side hasn't figured out. The whole point of interviews like this is to establish, not answer, not elucidate, not learn. It is to establish, it's to pigeonhole. Topic doesn't matter. Whenever it's one of these defining issues where the left thinks they have the morally superior position, you're not going to change their mind. You're not going to enlighten them. You're not going to open their minds. You're not going to show them that you might be right. You're not going to intrigue them. They're not there to be intrigued. They're not there to learn. They're not there to do anything other than expose you for the fraud that they believe you are. They did it with Romney. They did it with George W. Bush. They did it with Ronald Reagan. They're doing it with Trump. They're going to do it to Ted Cruz. They have been doing it to Ted Cruz. And they did it to McCain. And they're going to get around to doing it to Kasich if it's ever necessary. And yeah, it may only be March when this happens. I know it's April today. It may only be March when this happens. But remember, all of this is aimed at helping Hillary Clinton. It's all about winning in November. Plain and simple.